everybody, it's Chelsea here. I wanted to kind of come on before this video and explain a little bit. So in this video, I went to the beach and I shot a roll of Portrait 160 on this RicohFlex camera. It is a camera that was gifted to me for Christmas. It came from an antique store and they told me that they had no idea if it worked or not. So I kind of started messing around with it and I realized that the shutter does in fact open. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. And so I've been messing around. This roll that I shot in this video was my third ever roll shooting through this camera. And none of them have came out correctly. So the first roll that I did was totally manual error. It was, I'm not used to having to, like, it either won't let me do a double exposure. That's what I'm used to. So I wasn't used to having to wind it every time. So I kept double exposing and then I kept forgetting whether I'd wound it. And so I skipped a bunch of frames. So they just turned out really odd. And then the second roll that I did came out. I'll actually show you what came out of it. You're not going to be able to see it very well, but there's about 4 exposures on here. And they're kind of overlapped and see, you can't really see that. But this was the only thing that came out. The rest of the roll was blank. And so that one, I had no idea what happened. But I didn't think too much into it. And so then yesterday I went out and I was like, okay, so I know for a fact that the first time was my user problem. So I was like, I'm just going to go out and I'm going to really, really take my time and make sure that I'm doing things correctly, and see if anything comes out. So I went into it not really knowing whether I was going to get anything or not, but at the end of it, I thought, like, for sure, I was like, I did it right. It's going to turn out. Sure enough, I developed the roll and it did not come out. So going into this video, there are no pictures to show what I did. However, it's a nice aesthetic video, so continue watching on if you want to. But I just kind of wanted to talk because I have no idea what is wrong with this camera or if it is me. I have no idea. So if anybody has any recommendations on how to use this thing, please let me know because I want to use it so bad. I've been using a light meter on my phone and then, so I think I'm exposing it right. The only thing that I can think is that, like, it looks like sometimes the shutter does get stuck, but then sometimes it does work. So I think maybe the shutter is broken, even though sometimes it's working. Like, I have no idea. Yeah, because see, I'm like doing this and the shutter is not going at all. So I guess maybe it is the shutter, but I was like, no, the shutter's working, so I know the camera's not broken. Maybe sometimes if I put it on bulb though, it I've noticed it will stay open as long as I let it. So like, well, see there, it's stuck again. Oh, but it opened. And it's opening now. I think it has something to do with the, I don't know what this is called, but I'm going to call it a little charger. Because it does not always feel like this, like what I'm doing right now. Maybe I just need to start shooting on bulb. Whenever I was first learning film, I was learning on my Canon AE1, which is still the camera that I use the most today. But I was loading it correctly, but I was not, like, if that makes sense. I knew how to load it, but I wasn't making sure that it was catching every time before I closed it. So it never was actually winding itself. So then whenever I would get it developed, it was just an empty roll, and I was like, what is going on? Then I figured that out, and I've been using that camera forever. So a new camera is a learning curve for sure. So I was like, maybe I'm loading it wrong. I'm also just learning to develop my own film, but all of my 35mm has been coming out, so I'm like, that one makes sense if that's what it is. But as you can see, this is what this one looked like. There's like a little square on there. So I was thinking, you know, if it had somehow gotten exposed to the light during loading, unloading, developing at any time, wouldn't it all look like that? Not like this? I could be getting things backwards, and maybe that is my problem. But I think that it's just not exposed at all. Something to learn from, but not a super duper big deal. But I do think, you know, it's important to just realize, like, you know, everybody makes mistakes. It's part of learning. Not every single roll of film is going to come out. So, with that being said, watch the rest of the video if you want. So I've got this set at 150 at like 50. Okay, I'm at f16 at 150th of a second. So hopefully this comes out. So for this exposure, I have it at f22 for 1/100th of a second. I have it of the swing kind of framing that blue umbrella back there. So I think I'm going to set up with this driftwood as a different piece and just try and get like kind of close up with that. And then I also might do one facing this little track.